Hello, welcome back to Man Cave Hobbies. So today's video is this little guy right here. This is my winter build this year based off the Shark Byte. I did a build like this last winter based off of the Byte Frost. And it was a 5-inch quad. This is a 4-inch quadcopter, but you might want to pay attention. You might not want to skip around in this video because I also have some Shark Byte news, including new firmware I'm testing. But guys, 13-minute flight times based off of an 850 4S pack. I'm not embellishing, I got video to prove it. And I know you're thinking, well, you know, what were you going really, really slow? No, I was doing about 20, 25 miles an hour. 20, 25 miles an hour. You're thinking, well, it's got to be hugely underpowered. Oh no. You get about a 1/4 inch off the bottom of your throttle, and this thing's up in the air, it's raring to go. It's a smooth power band too, very smooth. Even when I was doing power loops over the trees, even when I was pumping the throttles going around the trees and not caring about efficiency, I was still getting 8 to 10 minutes out of this thing. That's what surprised me about it. There's not too many things that shocked me. This thing shocked me. These frames are hugely durable. They're not lightweight and just chintzy. This is the Rotor X Atom V3 4-inch frame. It's still available. In fact, RCdrones.com down below is going to give you 10% off if you want to try this build. It's an intermediate build because you do have to drill 4 holes and you do have to glue the camera down with a dab of hot glue. But, guys, this thing flies amazing. It is my all-time favorite flyer. I'm not embellishing. This thing is incredible. But the Rotor X, you know what they did to sell these things? Because guys were asking about this plastic top. When it first came out, Rotor X came out with this with a 3-inch. People are like, nah, it's got a plastic top. I'm not flying that. It's gonna wreck. It's gonna bash, so on and so forth. To sell this thing, okay, they took this quadcopter. In fact, I think it's still on YouTube, and they would literally fly it into the concrete wall over and over again to show you the polycarbonate top is tough as nails. And it comes in different colors, you know, red, greens, blues, whites, and all this stuff. But what an amazing little quadcopter. The main board in here, the FC, is an all-in-one Mamba F411 25 amp whoop board. That's why you have to drill the holes, because the frame was originally made for 20 by 20 and 30 by 30, but I've got whoop boards in here. So I got a whoop board and a whoop VTX. That's it. Very simple. Took me an hour and a half to make it. And I love this thing. I absolutely love it. So when I do a breakdown on the bench, I'm going to put my flight videos next to it so I don't waste too much of your time today. I'm going to show you how it's flying. I'm also going to get a reaction from one of my buddies, Chuck Woods, and I. We've been threatening for 2 years now to go flying together. We finally got to go flying because the wind died down. We've had nothing but horrible winds around here, 101 mile an hour gusts. There's no snow on the ground. It's just nothing but wind. I don't know what's up. But we finally got to go out. It was 36 degrees. It started out and it died down to 28 degrees at the end of the day. But I'm going to show you his reaction when he first flew this thing here with the Shark Byte in it. He was flying around his analog. I jumped him into this with the HDO2s. And I'll just show you his reaction. It's kind of funny. What do you think, Chuck? Does it look like HD or does it look like Analog Plus?
It's like HD on steroids. It is really incredible. It's like flying with a GoPro on your face.
Yeah. See, in the goggle view as opposed to the DVR, I mean, it looks so much clearer.
Whoa. Treat.
Yeah, just come on back. And he's never flown this craft before. And this is kind of a tricky little 4-inch, like I mentioned in my video when I was building it. It's got a lot of power. It's very smooth. It kind of creeps up on you. So this is the first time he's ever flown this with this radio, using the HDO2s. He does have the HDOs, but there's quite a bit of a jump here between what he's got and what he's currently flying. So he's doing a really good job here. This is the Shark Byte system, so it definitely looks like HD, you think?
Yes. Yeah, it's concentrating here.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Into a tree.
Well, if you smash it up, that's fine. I can get another frame. 10% discount for all my viewers, by the way, on RCdrones.com.
Yeah, this is really something else. There is no glitch, no hit, no static,
no diversity flashing and all that. Yeah. It's got the built-in patches and stuff. So I mean, it's a really good system. I mean, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of years has been spent on it. About 2.5 years between Greg and Carl to get it to where it is. And it's only going to get better, and it's going to get less expensive too. So I think it'll end up being the default HD system, to be honest with you.
Well, I've never done anything digital. I've never seen any of the DJI stuff or anything.
Yeah.
This is a serious upgrade.
Right. Well,
to anything I've done before.
Yeah, it's a big jump in technology, that's for sure. And plus trying to get that latency down to 16 milliseconds too. So I mean, you don't have the you know, that high latency where you feel like you're a little bit disconnected from the radio from what you're doing. Especially when you're flying something as new and it really as finicky as this little copter is. You're doing a really good job. I'm surprised you haven't piled it up by now. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's it's something else.
To be sub 250 is fantastic.
Yeah, it's 247 grams. I weighed it with the battery, as you guys seen in the video. That's with the 850 pack. Now on a 650 pack, it's down to it's like 220, I think it is, or 210 or something like that. So, and it actually flies better on a 650, to be honest with you.
What's on it now?
This is the 850, so you're going to get the kind of flying you're doing right now. You're going to probably end up getting 10 minutes out of it. I guarantee it.
That's wild.
It is wild. It's I don't know. It's the prop and motor combination is just insane on this. Somebody spent a lot of time researching their motor prop combinations. So, guys, so there it is. That's Chuck Woods, and he says it looks like a GoPro, like trying to fly a GoPro with FPV. So let's get down to the Shark Byte news. So a lot of you guys are asking me, and you're hammering my inbox and the whole 9 yards on RCgroups.com. For those of you who don't know, the official RC Groups channel is down below. It is mine. I have admin rights to it, so any asshats, any buffoonery, trolls and everything else, I kick them the hell out. There's a lot of good guys left to answer questions, so if you are getting this system, if you have questions, go there. If we can't answer your questions, I have a direct line to Greg French. I have a direct line to Carl at DiviMath. I'll try to get you the answers you're looking for. So a lot of guys are asking, why is it always out of stock? It's really, really simple. We had no idea, especially with the lukewarm reviews. We had no idea it was going to be this big of a success, period. In fact, a year ago when we started talking about the Shark Byte unit, not this last December, but the December before, we were thinking a couple thousand units. That was it. And when the Whoop board, Greg French didn't even want to sell it. He didn't think it would sell at all. It's been flying since February. Carl at DiviMath actually showed me a video of him with the Shark Byte Whoop board on a 75mm, beta 75mm frame last February, a year ago. But Greg didn't think it would sell. I mean, you know, who's going to spend $300 for an HD system to fly on a Whoop? Wow. Wrong. So, yeah, it's overwhelming, guys. You guys are buying them faster than they can produce them because everyone that's produced is being tested. So that's a slowdown right there. We still have COVID affecting shipping, but I'm hoping by the time I upload this video to YouTube, getfpv.com still should have some in stock. DefianceRC has the whole bundle deal, and I think Banggood has some as well, and plus some other guys out there. So we do have a Chinese New Year's coming up. I've asked Carl at DiviMath this last week to make a couple thousand units. Hopefully he can before the Chinese New Year so we don't run out of stock again. But honestly, you guys are just buying them up. I mean, it's faster than they can produce them. And not only that, Carl is overwhelmed because not only is he trying to get production up, trying to do customer service, also doing the new firmware I'm testing, but, you know, creating different stuff as well. And that's another one of your questions you guys keep hammering me about is, well, what about the new stuff coming up? Guys, I cannot share any of that stuff with you. And that's the answer you're going to get. There's a small circle of trust there. I cannot share any of the information, what's been told to me in confidence. I won't share it, period. Just like if you told me something in private, I'm not going to share it with the world. Why would I do that? It's not my business. I feel privileged that you shared it with me. So, you know, I would cheapen me to share it for with everyone else, your business. If you guys want to know actual sales numbers and stuff, and if you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, you probably can know what's behind the scenes if you become an investor in RedCat. Become a huge investor in RedCat, and they probably would share all this information with you, okay? Using deductive reasoning, is there going to be new products? Yeah, they're two businesses trying to make profit. How do they do that? By making products. So, Yeah, we are going to see new products this year. Yes, it's going to be hugely exciting, and it's gonna move the needle just that much more. Absolutely. Does that mean they're going to drop support with the stuff you're buying now? No, they didn't drop support with the Bifrost. In fact, they just had a firmware not even, a week and a half ago that came out, so you could use your Bifrost with your Shark Byte and your Shark Byte with your Bifrost ground station. So, of course, they're not going to do that. That's not the way Greg French runs his business. That's not the way Carl at DiviMath runs his business. They're going to support what they put out there. That's what Fat Shark's known for, by the way. We all know that. So, yeah, there's going to be new products. They are going to support the other stuff. They're not just going to drop stuff like other companies have done in the past. They're not going to do that, okay? So let's get down to the bench. Let's break this thing down because it's really, really exciting, and I think whoever puts one of these things together is going to love it. All right, so let's get this thing broke down. I'm going to put the flight videos right here. All right, guys, so this is the secret sauce right here, is this motor prop combination. This isn't my idea. This isn't something I conjured up. This actually, I was watching Nick Burns' channel. He was reviewing, I think it's called the CO or Clio or something like that. It's a long-range 4-inch quadcopter with a special battery that can make it go like 30 minutes or some crazy thing. And I watched that video, and what really got me interested is his backyard flight. So he put an 854S pack on it, and even with Nick Burns pumping the throttle, shooting over his house over and over and over again, he still ended up with 6-minute flight times. And so I was thinking, wow, okay, if I make a quadcopter that's 40 grams lighter than that, I wonder what it's going to be. You know, I wonder how it's going to perform. And that's what we have here. And that's the tune I'm using, by the way. I'm using that quadcopter's tune. Nick Burns sent me the PID tune for that quadcopter, and it works perfect with this one. So these motors here are the Brother Hobby 1504.5 2650 motors. And the props are the Gemfan Hurricane 4024 props. So that combination together is just massively efficient, and still you don't lose that performance. It's still a really good performer. Now the frame, you know, is the Rotor X V3 4-inch frame kit, and then the all-in-one is just the Mamba. You know, that's like I said, Mamba F411. It's the 25 amp version. It's a Whoop board, and that's why you have to drill the holes. So the holes you have to drill are these 4 holes, obviously, to mount the stack. And you got to be careful where you mount the stack. You got to go get some room between the brass standoffs, these are brass for durability, and the back of your board, obviously. Now, because I'm using a Whoop board, I have to, you know, Whoop boards are made to be at a 45. So I do have to set the gyro different, and I'll put the settings. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll post the PID and all of the settings that I had to do with this on my RCgroups blog. Okay, the blog there. It's under Dumb Thumbs FPV. So if you go to RCgroups, you look up the user Dumb Thumbs FPV, you go to my blog, and I'll have all of the PID settings for you. Okay, so you don't have to do anything but bind your XM Plus receiver if that's what you want to use, and then you're done. This is a standard full-size beeper. I kind of had to mount it at an angle a little bit here, and I just put a dab of hot glue on it. I like having a full-size beeper because it is a winter quadcopter. If it goes down the snow, I want to be able to hear it, and I'm not going to be able to hear it with just these motors beeping, so that's why I did that. If you don't want to use a beeper, then it's just less weight. The Rotor X, also the frame kit comes with a nice battery strap, a very durable battery strap, and I also did use Oh My God on the bottom here, and conformal coating. So I used a very thin layer of nice conformal coating on this as well. It's really super simple, other than just drilling these, being very, very careful, drilling these 4 holes and making sure they're straight. As far as the bolts, I just got them down Ace Hardware. I just got long screws. And then what I did is on the standoffs, I didn't use plastic standoffs. I used 4 nuts to put the bolts so they're nice and straight up and down. So I used 4 nuts on one nut on each bolt. And then on top of that, I use these little gummies. I got these from Amazon. Now, the Mamba already comes with gummies on the board. I just took them out and I put these longer standoff kind of gummies in here. And I also did it between the VTX and also the all-in-one. So that's it. I mean, it's nice. It's spongy still, so there's plenty of shock here. And then on the camera mount, now the camera mount is a TPU camera mount that you'll get. What I did is, because it causes jello, I tried it. I just cut it down. I cut it down using a pair of wire dikes, and then I just hot glued it. And that's all I did. I just wanted to get the camera angle that I wanted, which is about 35 degrees, and that's it. The RX is right here between the camera and the stack, and I just ran out the antennas off the side. This one broke because it was so cold outside. But I just use zip ties, and I shrink wrap the ends of the antenna for the RX to the zip tie. And I zip tie these down too, so they don't pull, just in case the battery goes shooting away. But honestly, with this, oh my God, this stuff is so damn sticky when it's clean. It's just crazy. Your battery's not going to go anywhere. And that's that wreck that I was going to show you. That wreck. Nothing happened. I mean, this is after the wreck. I didn't change the prop or anything. As you can see, the props are great. So that's it. That's the bench. And then to put it back on top on this, I hate this antenna, by the way. Don't get it. Just use a dipole if you want to use anything for an antenna, because this thing is absolute junk. But what I did for the antenna is I just thread it through here if you want to use this one or one similar to it, and I just put a little mark in there, and that's it. And then the top just slides right over the top of the camera. You kind of mount your camera so you can slide the top over. Okay, and then also because you are using a Whoop board, your wires are going to be different. You know, you're not going to have wires like off the back or off the sides here like a normal board, because it's made to go in at an angle. So I just straightened it up, and I just ran my wires there. I mean, it's just really simple. The tape right here is just cloth tape. Got that from Amazon for $3 just to match the props and the blue, the antenna here. So you're putting it back together. You just put the two bolts right back in here. And then the way I mounted it too, so when you want to tune your flight controller, there's plenty of room back here for your USB to slide right in there. So I made sure to have that. So you want to be careful not to mount it too close to the frame where you can't get your USB cable in there to do some tuning. But with the Shark Byte, the firmware that's currently out right now, your PID settings and stuff like that, you can actually do that just like any other VTX. So there you go. That is the build. I love this thing. Okay, so we have it here on the scale. It's 143.6 grams with an 850. Comes in at 246.4, so we're just right underneath that 250 gram mark. And then if you want to run a 650 pack, which I actually like how it performs on a 650 pack, by the way. You don't get the flight time, but man, it really does perform well. 224.8 grams. All right, so that's the video. Hopefully you liked it. I love this thing. Hopefully if you build it, you love it too. It's just amazing to me. I think it'll be a great winter quad. And in the spring when it starts to warm up, and I'm worried about the VTX getting a little too warm, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another canopy and put a couple of little holes right here, just, use my Dremel tool, so I have some forced air coming in off the front of the canopy. That's pretty much about it. I love this thing. I really honestly do. It flies a little bit light. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you can't throw it around and have that inertia that you do with a 5-inch heavier quadcopter that's 500 grams. But once you get used to the power band, once you get used on how it launches, you can definitely do that. You can start really throwing it around and being more comfortable. I do need a better camera angle on it, like I mentioned. And I want a different antenna. That's the two things I would like to change. And I also might change where the mid throttle is, because I know a lot of you guys are going to make comments down below. Well, you can always change that in Betaflight. The problem with changing that is, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but in order to get into the settings of the Shark Byte, it wants to have the throttle stick in the middle. And if you have it offset in Betaflight, then you're going to have to remember that, because that's where that's where it's going to be expecting. So if you set it down to 1400 instead of opposed to 1500, well then in order to get into the sub menus of the Shark Byte, you're going to have to move that stick down to the 1400 mark and then push it over in order to get into those settings. So that's something you might want to think about a little bit. But I love it. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And I should have that little jumper radio comment. It was supposed to be here by now. It's been in a mess. I don't even want to get into it. But everybody and their dogs already reviewed it, so you pretty much already have an idea what it is. It's pretty cool. It's a very cool little radio for 69 bucks. I think the big one is like 75 or something. I would definitely get it. If you're into game style radios and you're a thumber, or even if you're a hybrid or a pincher, I think it's going to be a pretty good radio to have. So, and if you're looking to replace the X-Lite like I am, because mine is completely wore out, then but I'll have it come up as soon as I get it here. DefianceRC said they're going to send it out to me probably this week. So as soon as I get it, I'll get it up to you probably next weekend. Have a good night.